Hey guys, welcome back to Khanvolution. My name's Khan. Right now I'm gonna be sitting down to check out the Witcher Season 2 teaser trailer. I just went through all of WitcherCon and paused it right before Henry Cavill announced the Season 2 teaser trailer. So I am super excited to check this out. If you guys haven't checked out me and my cousin's reactions to Witcher Season 1, links are down in the description below, as well as the you guys can go and check those out. Preparing ourselves for, I'm definitely gonna be watching Season 1 over again before Season 2 airs. But yes, stick around to the channel if you guys enjoy watching the series with us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, because we're gonna be checking out Season 2 with a lot of more people involved, definitely. But basically over the hiatus of these 2 years, you know, with COVID and everything, so what I've done personally in the meantime is I've actually gone through a lot of the books. I went through, you know, the Sword of Destiny, the Last Wish, the Sword of Destiny, the Blood of Elves, Time of Contempt, Baptism of Fire, Tower of Swallow, and I'm currently reading through The Lady of the Lake at the moment. So I have a lot more Witcher knowledge within me. I think The Witcher Season 2 is going to include one of the short stories, like the sort of Beauty and the Beast style short story from the Last Wish, and it's going to include mainly the Blood of Elves storyline, along with maybe a little bit of Time of Contempt. I am not 100% sure on that, but I think the producer mentioned something about that it's going to tackle mostly the Blood of Elves storyline. So I am super excited for all this stuff. I got my cousins reading the books right now, so we are so excited for The Witcher Season 2. Let's go ahead and check out what the teaser trailer is gonna show us, bruh. 3, 2, 1, son.
So, I'm your destiny?
You're much more than that, Cirilla.
Yeah, they're traveling to Kaer Morhen. By the way, I'm gonna be playing some more Witcher 3 on
I need to understand some things.
Twitch.
The world is changing.
Since Witcher's coming out.
Central isn't safe for you anymore.
Okay.
What exactly is Kaer Morhen?
Okay, it looks good.
Finally.
Oh shit! Lambert.
Who the hell are you?
Oh, nice.
I'm so afraid.
Oh, she's having the nightmares.
I feel like I could
Damn, steel, bruh.
burn the whole world.
Facing your fear is not easy, but I am here for you.
Start with the wooden swords, bruh. Damn,
When I say
dude.
run.
Oh it's the vampire.
When I say hide,
We have to stay.
you
Whoa,
hide.
who are they?
Run!
Okay, she's got her hair braided back. She's
Exit the world.
oh, the training, Vesemir.
It's a dangerous place, but you can find power and purpose. Where
Vesemir,
is she?
to say the breeze.
What if your princess is more than you barking for?
Jaskier.
Are you sure you're ready for this?
Wow. They showed way more than I thought they would show. Interesting. Fringilla.
Welcome back.
Oh shit, Yennefer of Vingeberger. Yennefer selling burgers at Vingeberger, bro, dude. Oh my god. Showing obviously the Geralt and Ciri going to Kaer Morhen, showing a lot of like those winter sort of climate areas, and you see them like camping every now and then. That was legit straight out of the books. Was it Blood of Elves or the end of Sword of Destiny? I think it was. The Sword of Destiny pretty much ends with them two meeting together, but I can't remember. Spoiler alert for the books, by the way, because I think it's at the beginning of Blood of Elves when you see like Triss Marigold actually riding to Kaer Morhen and seeing Ciri for the first time. So I can't remember if it was in the end of Sword of Destiny where Geralt is taking Ciri to Kaer Morhen, and you literally spent a chapter with Ciri and Geralt, and you see that Geralt's experiencing Ciri going through a bunch of nightmares and stuff. It's basically like all the trauma that's sort of built up. At the same time, it's like her destiny coming to fruition. She's having nightmares about the Black Knight, basically Cahill from Nilfgaard, although he's not technically from Nilfgaard. He's from some place called Kovir or something like that. Spoiler alert. Yeah, so he has nightmares about that, you know, feathered hair, or at least as I called him in season 1, Featherhead. She's having nightmares about that Black Knight, and so she's basically like, you know, trying to come to terms. And what this trailer alluded to is that she's not only having nightmares about that, but at the same time her grander destiny. Like she said that at one point she has an anger inside her that could tear the world asunder, and that's basically playing into what she is much more capable of going forward, like her powers and stuff. There's a lot of something, you know, to do with like elven blood, a series part of a long lineage of very strong and powerful like magic genetics involved as well. So I guess if you guys have played the game, there's a little bit of the lore in there as well, I would assume. At least from what I've played so far, there's a little bit of hinting, like specifically about Lara Doran and stuff. I think that what they're alluding to here is definitely like the grander destiny she has coming forward, because there was one point in like an image, a still on Twitter like a couple of months ago where people were suggesting that they thought they saw the sword that Ciri eventually gets, but I don't think it's too early for Ciri to get that specific sword. There's a sword that she gets later in a couple of the books that's specifically made for her, or that sort of resounds with her. There was a still at season 2 that showed that, but they showed it here. It's basically just a sword in Kaer Morhen, and it's not her sword. It's a series trying to work her way up to those practice swords. One thing we didn't get any of in this trailer is Triss Merigold, because Triss Merigold plays a huge role, or sort of a huge role, specifically in Blood of Elves and in what do you call Time of Contempt as well. So I really hope that at least in the new trailer we see a little bit of that as well, at least of her, because I'm very excited for Triss Merigold's role in the upcoming storyline, because she is one of the 14th, you know what I'm saying. And at the same time we get to finish the story with Yennefer, because at the end of season 1 we say that Yennefer is pretty much gone or disappeared, or she pretty much like, you know, portaled out of there as soon as she like lost all her magic with like, you know, using that incredible fire, like, you know, Sozin's Comet, you know, Inferno Blast, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, she used the last bit of her magic to like teleport herself out. And it's funny enough to see that Fringilla is the one keeping her captive. Another spoiler alert for the books is that it very much mimics something from the books as well, because it wouldn't be the first time that Yennefer is being held captive by another witch. There is an elven witch that I believe captures her in the Time of Contempt, and then you see her like being released during the Baptism of Fire or the Tower of Swallow. I forget where you actually see what actually ends up happening to Yennefer and stuff. In the books, Fringilla didn't really play into the story until you actually get introduced to her like later on in like I think the Time of Contempt, or I think maybe in Baptism of Fire, when you first see Fringilla as part of like the lodge of sorceresses. She does play a bigger role in the Lady of the Lake, where at least I'm reading right now. And I think for the most part, since Fringilla was such a pivotal character in the first season, I think she'll continue to play a role, and we might get a possible redemption arc for her, and definitely for Cahir as well. So I'm very excited for Cahir, the character. I'm excited for Vilgefortz of Roggeveen, bruh, dude. In season 1, when we got introduced to Vilgefortz, I was like, man, who is this fool? And then I started reading the books, and holy shit, if Vilgefortz of Roggeveen ain't like one of the baddest villains out there, then you know, I don't know what to say, man. I'm looking forward to Vilgefortz. I'm looking forward to Ryan's Bonhart. I am freaking looking forward to Bonhart and what he does to Ciri. My god, Ciri had one of the best character arcs I've ever read in like any fantasy novel. Like the shit this girl goes through, and Bonhart is a big ass part of it. So I can't wait to see who they cast for Bonhart, maybe in season 3 or tease at the end of season 2. And obviously we get new Nilfgaardian armor that they sort of tease it. Jaskier, my favorite character. I really hope we get to a new toss a coin to your Witcher, a new like, you know, internet sensation like toss a coin to your Witcher. And Jaskier got a new outfit as well, so I'm very excited to see how Jaskier's new songs and his new outfit, because at the end of season 1, or at the end of episode 6 of season 1, we see that Jaskier and Geralt go their separate ways after a heated argument, after, you know, the Golden Dragon Bosch 3 Jackdaws literally tells him that, you know, there's no way that you guys are eventually, you know, gonna be together, and then he just blames it all on Jaskier, and Jaskier runs away like a wounded animal, and it's just so sad. And I'm so glad Jaskier's coming back. And when I first watched season 1, I wasn't aware how important of a character Jaskier was, even though I knew that he was Dandelion from the games. But when you read the books, you see how quintessential to the story Jaskier actually is. And the Fu is a Viscount, bro. And where I'm reading it in Lady of the Lake, it's just so funny, you know, like his character arc has had such a interesting, like he changes quite a bit, because he goes from like being like this very entertaining musician, playboy, you know. There's this one beautiful line that Dijkstra, or Dijkstra, however you want to pronounce it, I pronounce it as Dijkstra, has when he corners Jaskier at like Oxford or something like that. I forgot where he cornered him, and he's like, I know that you're almost 40, that you think you're a little bit above 30, you look like you're just above 20, and you act like you're just 10. That's one of my favorite lines in all of Witcher, when Dijkstra is like shouting at Dandelion or Jaskier, you know. I absolutely freaking love Jaskier as a character. I love the new friends. There's an incredible, if you guys are huge fans of Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, or like the camaraderie between the Fellowship, you guys are gonna love the upcoming seasons of The Witcher. I'm telling you, like Geralt gets his whole team of like, you know, unique and unique characters that he like goes on an adventure with, and I cannot freaking wait. Ciri as well, you know, before the, you know, some shit happens, but I cannot wait to see where this series really has the potential of like really unlocking like incredible new doors of what Netflix can do, like spin-off series, different worlds, different, you know, storylines and stuff. I'm so excited, and the fact that they have a WitcherCon going on right now means that this show has hit a certain level of enthusiasm, or a certain level of, I would say, like, you know, excitement. It generates a certain level of excitement, you know, whenever it's talked about, and definitely online. I've been following all the information on Twitter, and that's why I started reading the books, because I was so invested in the story. I'm tired of watching season 1 over and over again. I gotta see how the story unfolds, because, you know, the COVID, what else are you gonna do? It's just I started reading the books instead. So or rather listening to the audiobooks. If you guys have read the books, I would highly recommend listening to the audiobooks for The Witcher. It's read by Peter Kenny, I believe, is the person who is reading the books, and my god, it's one person voicing every single one of the characters. He does voices for like all the men, all the women, all the children, all the monsters even. It's that dude's vocal range is insane, and it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible, and I loved just listening to it. And so, you know, I'm still going through the Lady of the Lake, and I think I'm like about halfway through 1/3 away through Lady of the Lake. So looking forward to reading more. This teaser got me excited, man. I think we got a little shot at like the sort of the Beauty and the Beast story that happens within the, I think, the first book. I want to say it's the second story in The Last Wish, if I recall correctly. I think it's the second short story in the Last Wish novel, and right after, you know, the story of the Striga and Foltest and whatnot, and it ends in one of the best ways possible. I think like the last line in that short story is just, that's what got me hooked into the novels of The Witcher. I was just like, my god, this is like great writing. This is a fantastic story, and I think I'm not sure, I think one of the scenes was very reminiscent, because we see like this sort of almost like, you know, 2004's Van Helsing style vampire lady, you know, flying around. I think that was from that Beauty and the Beast storyline as well. But I'm excited to see Vesemir, Lambert, all the other Witchers. So the thing that I'm looking forward to at least seeing in the upcoming trailers is definitely Triss Merigold. I need to see Triss Merigold, because I loved her in the season 1. I'm glad that they included so much of her character in season 1. Triss plays an important role. What I think they could do is maybe give Triss's roles to someone else, maybe. Or there was one point where you see Ciri alongside a couple of other women at the same time. So I don't know where that is, because that doesn't you know, ring any bells in me about. Oh, maybe it is in. Oh, no. Maybe it's when she meets a couple of the other sorcerers. I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. That's the cool thing about reading the books and then watching the series, is because you see the different type of adaptation, like the different way the storyline plans out. Because I read The Sword of Destiny and The Last Wish and Sword of Destiny, and when I went back to Witcher season 1 and rewatched it, I'm like, wow, they changed so much. They like sort of tried to interconnect. And I know for a lot of people, like for example, my sister-in-law had a very difficult time following like the timeline and whatnot, but I personally had a very easy time following it. And I can see a lot of fans while watching this series being very confused at like, you know, when stuff is actually happening. And there's a lot of hidden clues within the dialogue that tells you exactly what period of time we're at. So I kind of liked that, and I know, but I think the some people were turned off by like the random timelines of these 3 individual characters that we're following. But regardless, I feel like this season is going to be much stronger because we're going to be following a singular timeline rather than having like constant flashbacks, flash forwards, and, you know, following different characters at different periods throughout the time. You know what I'm saying? So I think this season is going to be much stronger. I think, you know, people have had an opportunity to refine this season, and I think it's about 8 episodes as well, which is more than enough time to go through Blood of Elves and even start a little bit of Time of Contempt, I believe. I think that's part of the reason why they added a little bit of the Last Wish short story into it as well. And I think Ciri might be part of it as well. Oh, you know what? That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay, big brain theory over here. The thing that the part where Ciri was seeing all these other women, right? There was all these other girls that Ciri was trying to lead out. I think that could be part of the Beauty and the Beast if they change the Beauty and the Beast storyline just a little bit. Because maybe because in the Beauty and the Beast storyline, Geralt goes by himself. It's like barely the second short story within The Last Wish. So Geralt is just adventuring by himself, and he goes into like this. He sees this mansion, and then the story unfolds. And there's this very small cast of characters, maybe like 2 or 3 characters in that whole short story. But in this case, it might be that while they're journeying to Kaer Morhen, they hit this fork in the road, and then they go to the mansion, and then that short story plays out. But in the mansion, there's all these other girls there that, you know, maybe isn't in the original story, but that helps Ciri develop a sort of role and sort of a character relationship with Geralt before they reach Kaer Morhen. That might be what they're doing. Okay, I can see how that could play out, and that could be a potential way of, you know, the story moving forward. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think that's a good way of connecting the storyline and giving Geralt and Ciri a little bit of more show time together and a little bit more time to build a bond and a relationship, because that's one thing, if I could critique about season 1, is that The Last Wish and Sword of Destiny had moments where Ciri and Geralt met each other and had moments with each other before they, ultimately, met in the meadow and, like, hugged it out and figured out that they were each other's destiny. Whereas season 1 literally ends with the first time that they meet. They met several times in the book. They've met several times in the past as well, and which sort of led their way into realizing that they're each other's destiny, rather than it just being the first time in the show. So I think this episode, having this sort of short story episode might be a good way of them developing their relationship together. Ciri seeing how a Witcher truly fights and learning a little bit more about Witchers through it, and the world of the monsters, and the much more harsher reality that she has to like sort of contend with. Even though she's seen a lot, there's still a whole lot waiting for her in the future because of her destiny. You know what I'm saying? Destiny. I wonder how many times people are gonna say the word destiny in this season. I'm betting it's gonna be even more than last time. So so that could be a good way. That could be a good episode 1, leading into episode 2, which is probably gonna be a Kaer Morhen specific episode, and then we'll get into like the journey that Geralt and Ciri go on, and then we'll get a little bit of Yennefer at the end as well. And at the same time, they might mix some of Yennefer's story with like the Skellige Island storylines, I think, that plays out in the Witcher novels as well. I think they're going to give Fringilla's role, I think since Fringilla is playing such a huge antagonistic role in this series, I think they might actually mix a lot of characters' motivations and influences within Fringilla that, Fringilla and Cavill might have to, portray their roles a little bit differently. And I think there might be redemption arcs down the line for them because of what happens in the Time of Contempt novels. I'm very much looking forward to Cahir's character. One character that, if you guys are just watching the show, that you will not know about is a character named Regis, but you will know about them if you've played the game. So I'm very excited for Regis. More Jaskier. Melva as well, maybe in season 3 when she's introduced, and a couple of the dwarves that they meet along the way, and of course Jaskier. Jaskier's your homie, bro. Give us another toss a coin to your Witcher, bro. Toss a coin to your Ciri. Oh Oh man, dude, I can't wait for that stuff. And of course, learning more about the lore behind the elves, the conjunction of the spheres, which is a very interesting phenomenon. And as I'm reading it, like the way the Lady of the Lake novel starts off, I was like blown away. I was like, damn, dude, conjunction of the sphere shit is insane. And of course, you know, I think season 2 is going to introduce the Wild Hunt, and I'm very much looking forward to how the Wild Hunt. I think they've had little screens of what they look like, and they look very much like the way they look in the game. So I'm very happy about that. And at the same time, they look very much like the Skull Knight from the Berserk novel. So I love that look and that aesthetic and that dark fantasy sort of feel. You know what I'm saying? I'm a huge Berserk fan, and one of the reasons I like The Witcher is very much reminds me of Berserk. You know, one of my favorite mangas slash stories of all time. And we also got to see Tissaia de Vries, because we don't really see Tissaia de Vries until I think the Time of Contempt. I think that's the first time we actually see Tissaia. We've heard about her in the other parts in the books prior to that, but the first time we actually see her is in, I think, Time of Contempt, and she has a very unique and interesting storyline, and it's I wonder how, you know, this actress is gonna play that and going forward, like how all the other sorceresses are going to, you know, pan out, because I think there are a couple of sorceresses that like died in the end of season 2. That there were a lot of sorcerers that died, but I think there were some that weren't supposed to die, because you see in season 1 Sabrina Legacy dies, but she actually doesn't die in that fight. She actually is alive even up till like Lady of the Lake in the novels. So I'm curious like how they're melding different character roles together, but I guess we'll see. You know, leave your comments down below. What are you most excited about in season 2 if you have read the novels? And if you haven't read the novels, what was your favorite part about season 1? Which of your characters in season 1 of The Witcher is your favorite? If you've read the books, which is your favorite? Leave all that down below, and I'll see you guys later in the next video. Until then, have a wonderful day or wonderful night wherever you guys are. Peace. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe, hit that like button, and feel free to share the video, and I'll see you guys next time.